Towards the end of that set, Como refused to give him any sort of air dodges, but it does look like we're going to have the next set of players coming up here.
It looks like they're walking up together. It's going to be Shuton and Dabuz. Now, I feel like this is going to be a really interesting fight because these are both players who play, generally speaking, slower characters. However, Shuton's been exhibiting a ton of incredible play with his Olimar here in New York this week. He's been doing a fantastic job of being able to turn up the heat and consistently is micromanaging his Pikmin to the point where he doesn't need to pace out the match patiently. He's just turning up the heat constantly on his opponents. So it's very different from what we usually see from Olimar's. And Dabuz himself playing Olimar when his Rosalina isn't enough for the situation, or if he needs to play a more unorthodox approach. I feel like for someone who studies so much ahead of time, this is going to be a really interesting match to see the adaptations from game to game, because you can't really prepare for something like this.
Right, and especially for Dabuz. Dabuz is one of the players who just is an encyclopedia of knowledge, right? He knows everything about his characters specifically. I mean, he knows a lot about other characters as well, but for his mains and the characters that he plays, he has this in-depth knowledge. So Olimar is not going to be a surprise to him, but how often does he get to play against Shuton, right? Like, Shuton's the best. I can't think of another Olimar aside from Dabuz who's really, you know, I don't even want to say they're on the same level. I don't want to put any labels out there, but for Dabuz, it's going to be a matchup that he isn't going to be super well versed in.
It's certainly an unorthodox match.
Right.
However, I feel like a lot of this match is also going to root itself down in how both of these players act in neutral. A lot of just making sure that they can control their own zone of space and really take advantage of approaches. We know that Dabuz is able to make use of Luma so that he could break a lot of zones, so that he can try and force through, take advantage of the fact that he's able to occupy two spaces at once very actively. His puppeteer work with Luma is really what puts him a cut above and why he's the best Rosalina in the world. However, on much the same point, we know that Shuton is able to exhibit so much pressure with how he's throwing the Pikmin, whether or not he's constantly cycling through, waiting for the right opportunity, or if there are specific situations where he just wants the damage over time, whether or not he's going to try and use his own normals and the Pikmin at hand to build up pressure and passive damage.
And we're also going to notice that, you know, for different matchups and characters in the game, the win conditions are different, right? We've been seeing with a lot of our earlier matches, the win conditions are, you know, get my hit into my confirm that leads into X and Y amount of damage. But for characters like Rosalina and Olimar, like, yeah, you do have your two-hit, you know, throw combos or strings or whatever, but it's very largely different. It's more about chipping away at your opponent until you get to a point where you can set up some sort of kill confirm or 50-50 or something like that. So we're going to watch both of these players chip away at each other relentlessly until one's able to find that opening and close out the stock.
Absolutely. And you bring up a really good point, Fernando. The fact that a lot of the matches that we've already seen, both in this tournament and just in today alone, they've been very much like a seesaw with how the momentum of the match swings. It's in one favor or the other. It's his turn, it's my turn. But in this set, I feel like that shift of momentum is going to be incredibly fluid. Both of these players are going to be constantly planning. What do I do for this stock? How should I approach the next stock? What do I change up in the next game? It's all going to be layers and layers of just macro thought to how to approach the set.
And hopefully, I want to see especially how Dabuz is able to ledge trap and edge guard Shuton. That's going to be one of the areas he's able to exploit, right? Olimar's recovery, not exactly one of the better ones, right? I mean, it goes really far. He can make it from just about anywhere, but he doesn't have a hitbox or anything. He just kind of left out there to die in a lot of sense.
It's kind of the same for both of these players, just because of how Flying Pikmin and Shooting Star work. Game one taking us to Dreamland. Like, it's a bunch.
Yeah, they got it. They memed you, dude.
Man. You know, I was saying this all the time. Like, Omega something. Omega whatever. Because then we'll know. Well, it's a bunch. I can keep on looking at things. But no. Legal stage, trash.
Take us to Omega Guard Plains, right? We'll get some nice tunes. You know, get to jam out a little bit. And we know it's a button check at the same time.
Yeah. But, to build it back up before we were rudely interrupted by Wispy Woods and friends, the recoveries of both these characters are actually a really interesting concept because you know that both of them can afford to go out deep. And they both have different interactions of their disadvantage at recovery. While, yes, Shooting Star does leave Rosalina in free fall, once she is currently in free fall, Luma can act. And if Luma's still around, all of a sudden that's an active hitbox. That's an active participant in making sure Dabuz has a safe landing. For Shuton, yes, he can't utilize his Pikmin. However, he has access to one aerial falling out of the flying Pikmin. So whether or not it's neutral air, whether or not it's down, it's going to be a move where he doesn't need the Pikmin. He can make sure he lightens his load and is able to return from anywhere at any speed. And Dabuz knows this. He plays Olimar himself. So he's going to be incredibly cognizant of the space that Shuton can operate in and how quickly he can do it, and more importantly, how he can punish that.
All right, there we go. We're going to put the speculation to rest and see how it finally all plays out as we load into, once again, Town and City. This has been the popular stage, it seems, today so far on stream.
Man, I'm telling you, when you're in the Big Apple, you're in the city. This is the stage. Everyone's always like, Smash for the choice. No, no, no. Our players like it dynamic. They want room to breathe. They want room to play. And they don't want blast zones being any bigger or more in favor of anyone than they need to be, because we had stocks like that. Done in a New York minute. There's your first stock. How you feeling, Flambeau?
I am, I don't want to say surprised, because we've seen Dabuz do that kind of shenanigans before, but just with the sheer amount of confidence and how early he was able to execute it and find that opportunity, what can I say? You've done good, Sam.
And you can't even compare that to the shenanigans that Rosalina and Luma are infamous for. That was with Dabuz at 5%.
Right.
And even though Shuton has finally been able to put some numbers on the board, that was just one quick setup. That was one clean confirm from Dabuz, entering in explosive fashion.
There we go. We can see Dabuz honestly not caring too much about being stuck by Pikmin. Just kind of rolls away, dodges away, doesn't care. He'll let some of the chip damage rack up, and there you go, that gravitational field.
Yo, where do the Pikmin go? They're gone. It's bad enough that we see them die in dramatic fashion when Shuton uses them, because Shuton constantly cycling, constantly making them use as shields. This is just a disposable army to him. Dabuz, no respect for it. Constant smash attacks in order to get rid of them. And I feel like that's a beautiful option, because if the Pikmin linger onto him, when those smash attacks rise, that hitbox is extended, its duration is longer. That's lingering in ways that occupy space that make it very lopsided for how Shuton can approach.
You can see Dabuz spacing around that down tilt, trying to catch Shuton as he gets back onto the stage. Shuton luckily managing to do so, but at this point he's at 104 on his last stock, whereas Dabuz is still sitting on 2 healthy ones at that. So.
And another factor is just how important it is in this set for carrying a stock lead. Shuton knows if he let Dabuz live around with more rage on a stage like this, disaster was coming for him.
Yeah, it's just an up air away.
I like the down tilt as a quicker option for getting rid of the Pikmin.
And it's not very committal at all, so it hasn't really been punished for using it much. And now we have Shuton coming back to stage. I think he had 2 Thickmen within that time, so they're both dead. You can make it. Once again, he's on the stage, can get thrown off, and you know Dabuz loves to reset the scenario over and over.
Damn, Dabuz is chilling. He's at 17%. He's naring. He's a game up. What does he have to worry about?
He's cooling, gonna go ahead, take a sip of his drink. I'm here to play. I'm here to catch dubs.
He's gonna win.
Dabuz has always been one of the most consistent members in the Smash 4 community, just in terms of his performances. Always does really well. Rarely, if ever, busters out, right? He's
especially here at home. He is only ever not first placed at 2 events in Tri-State as a whole. Collision 15 and Alpha 2 were the only events where he didn't win. And he's been putting up insurmountable levels of performances against players both at home and abroad. He's had a phenomenal season in the PGR that had just passed.
Right.
So to see him bring that home and defend the house has been great. Game 2 bringing us to Lilac Cruz. What do you think of this pick for Shuton?
It's very interesting, honestly. I'm going to see how he utilizes these platforms, because it's one of those things where you really don't want to get juggled by Rosalina, right? And these platforms, this layout is really susceptible to having that happen to you. But Shuton probably knows something I don't. Maybe has some ideas for his Pikmin, or maybe maneuvering around Rosalina, because same vein for her, right? She has to get down as well.
Now, my guess is that Lilac Cruz is typically speaking a very good stage for zoning characters. Characters that want to utilize projectiles can space out from one side of the wings to the other, because the arc of these projectiles covers so much space. And because this is a very laterally oriented map, things are very much squashed together. It's claustrophobic. It makes it very easy and almost streamlined for how Shuton wants to control space.
Right, and I also believe that with the way shooting star recovery works, it can be a little scary for Dabuz trying to grab that edge, so maybe Shuton could be attempting to force Dabuz to recover on stage a little bit more, try to capitalize on that scenario as well.
By limiting the options of his opponent, he's starting to make things a lot easier for him to at least keep an even fight, and that's what we're seeing as far as these percentages are concerned. Certainly not as lopsided as the beginning of game 1, but things are still sitting in Dabuz's favor.
There we go, gets clips him with Luma once again. Gonna go off stage perhaps, gets the down air, but unfortunately is not gonna be the hitbox that he wanted. So Shuton's gonna make it back to the stage, gonna rack up a little bit more damage, maybe try to hit Luma a little bit as well.
I love the interactions of the Pikmin toss when they are able to infiltrate past Luma, and an excellent forward smash. These Pikmin are swinging for the fences.
Dabuz makes it back on stage, but a nice catch from Shuton with the up air. Gonna go ahead and kill Dabuz off the top. It's actually really funny. He's gonna fight right back with that jab nair sequence from Rosalina as well. So these guys are keeping it as close as they possibly can. Gonna push Shuton to the ledge once again, and we're just seeing how both of these players are just puppeteers in their own right, controlling their minions, putting them out, saying, fight for me, use yourself as my shield.
There's so many layers to this fight and how both of these characters operate. It's so interesting to see how they intertwine the puppeteer work against attacking the main character. Olimar, an incredibly small target, we've seen Shuton be able to take advantage of how he's able to just slide in under Rosalina, how he's able to slip around a lot of the space that Rosalina and Luma can occupy. And on the opposite side of things, Rosalina, a very tall character, very sleek in her design, able to make use of very long hitboxes, whether or not Luma is with her, trying to take advantage of those aerials and how much space Dabuz can occupy, and trying to keep in check Shuton's size and speed.
Yeah, and it's really interesting to observe how for Olimar, right, you have most characters against Rosalina, she struggles with most characters that have disjoints, right, whether it's like Cloud with a sword or something smacking away at Luma, but when you're Olimar, you can fight Luma but in a different way, where you don't have to commit as heavily as some other characters might.
Ooh! And in the up air,
Yeah.
and some questionable DI from Dabuz is going to allow Shuton to nab that game 1, keeping us at an even set count. Look at this ledge play and where Shuton is located. He's right from center stage, and he has the entirety of the left-hand side of Lilac Cruz under his control.
Yeah, able to get that whiff punish pretty cleanly on the down air, kills Dabuz off the top, and looked like Lilac Cruz actually played very well for him as a counter pick, was able to get a lot more damage with the Pikmin. Also, it seemed that Dabuz felt a little more claustrophobic on that stage as well, so I think it's a good thing that he went to Battlefield, because you have a lot more space, you have the tripaths to work with, and you just have a lot more zone control overall.
I feel like this was a fantastic stage pick from Dabuz. Just as Lilac Cruz was able to benefit Shuton's style of play so well, I feel like dominating under the platforms, controlling center stage, and really taking advantage of these interactions at the ledge to build up tons of pressure in the wide amount of space that's off stage are all factors that are signature of Dabuz's amount of control when he plays.
Oh my goodness, does the jab one, and you see Shuton air dodge right through it, and the immediate reaction, we see Dabuz go for the up smash. Another reaction right there with the up tilt on the air dodge. Shuton been air dodging a lot to try and get back on stage, and it seems that Dabuz has caught on to the pattern.
I like how Dabuz started to use single jab from Luma in order to check where Shuton wants to move, how he wants to act aggressively, and just reset the situation. Don't use the jab as an instance to start something, just in case Shuton is sitting a possible way for him to make all of a sudden his own combo, his own damage, his own pressure.
Right, even then, we've seen Dabuz actually opt to go for that up smash a lot more overall. Beginning of the set, didn't really go for it that much. Went for things that are a lot less committal, maybe go for an up tilt, maybe go for a jab or something, but now he's caught on to Shuton's defensive habits and is trying to capitalize and max out.
Quick up air as soon as Luma comes back. However, it's not going to do anything. It's going to be the down air, a magnificently buffered down air, which with Rosalina chilling at the ledge. Able to constantly threaten so much space. Shuton's got to find a way to take this stock out immediately, or else this game 3 is done in a flash.
Yeah, and he's tacking on a little bit of damage with that poison pick. I'm going to go ahead and try to push forward now. Goes for the forward smash, but Dabuz with the immaculate ledge play, but that's actually going to do it.
I love how both of these players have been so aware of their surroundings and how good of a job they do at being able to control the stage from any point, being entirely capable of staying at one position and being ready for countless options.
And we were talking about this even before the set began, right? It's going to be a battle of attrition, chipping away at your opponent's percentages up until you get a point where you convert to a kill. And that's exactly what it has been. They've been going tit for tat, hit for hit, blow for blow, slowly but surely racking up the damage. We're not seeing very long conversions or strings, but just a lot of good defensive and offensive play to slowly but surely build a name for themselves.
The down tilt to check the Pikmin toss and the forward smashes that Shuton puts out for the sake of zoning and baiting, I feel been an excellent adaptation from Dabuz. He's recognizing like how Shuton is very much like him and how he's looking to turn these situations, wait out the response, figure out what's he gonna do. And Shuton has sort of been doing the same and taking from Dabuz's own game plan. He's starting to occupy center stage more, and he's starting to force certain situations from Dabuz where he can take advantage of it.
And we did even see right there that Dabuz did miss out on having Luma for a minute there, but now Luma is back. Shuton was able to capitalize in Luma's absence, though, but surely enough, right? Dabuz is biting back. He has that Lumas, gets caught by, I believe that was the Nair from Shuton, and they're just staying in each other's faces now. It looks like Shuton's just trying to infight him as much as he can.
He's getting right up in his face. He's looking for every reaction possible. And Dabuz, so smart. He's looking for every instance where Shuton wants to take advantage of him, and he's not falling for any of it. He's going to lose another Luma in the process, and it's going to be popping up right now. However, we see these interactions where Dabuz is not afraid to sacrifice Luma if it means he can stay alive.
Man, look, yeah, you also see two purple Pikmin on Shuton as well, and it's doing amazing for him in terms of destroying Luma, right? Oh, wow.
He went for the roll rate, but he wasn't able to get it. Excellent DI is going to be keeping him alive, but at 140%. Bull charge, fantastic play from Shuton, and down to the wire for that game 3, falling the set count now to 2-1 Shuton.
Go get that replay look at this. Tries to get the read, is unable to find it, and the fair is going to send Dabuz off stage, and he's going to fully charge this right here. Not really much anything that Dabuz could do there.
I feel like if Dabuz had Shooting Star just a tad sooner, he might have been able to grab the ledge. I feel like he waited just too long on that, but the opportunity is there for him again. We're going to see the run back to Battlefield. And once again, I feel like this is a really smart pick from Dabuz because we saw how he was able to take advantage of it before, and now we've seen that Shuton has adapted to that stage pick. If we were to go to any other situation, I feel like the stage advantage for Shuton would fall too heavily in his favor. Dabuz doesn't want to give him any more advantage than he already has.
And we can see that Shuton has just been doing an immaculate job of staying at this range where it's in between Luma and Rosalina. And it makes it very difficult for Dabuz to figure out how he wants to box in that scenario. Does he want to roll out? We've seen he's tried to roll out and Shuton gets a grab. So it's like, oh crap, I want to avoid the scenario as much as possible and stay in my comfort zone. But Shuton's not allowing that to happen.
Even though we see that Dabuz is able to take advantage of so much space he's able to occupy, the puppeteering of Luma is a commitment. It's one of those options where Dabuz has to plan it ahead of time. Whether or not he's keeping Luma desynced, he's keeping Luma at a space where it's occupying a obvious response from Shuton, he needs to make that decision. And Shuton's able to read that or force a situation where he knows how Dabuz is going to respond. It's all that much easier for Olimar to start to turn advantage.
We've seen that, especially since the beginning of last game, Shuton has become more and more efficient at killing Luma. Now, granted, Luma is on the screen right now, but if he keeps that trend up, oh, wow.
There's that one aerial I was telling you about you come out of Flying Pikmin with, and that one shot's all Shuton needs to make it back to the stage safely. And with great DI, he's going to have another shot again.
Wow, finagles his way right past the down air halo from Dabuz, and Dabuz is going to go ahead and try to chase Shuton down the other side of the stage and get a conversion. Down smash, still not enough. This Olimar is having the time of his life with his stock, surviving as much as he can, but not any longer. Dabuz got tired of it. He said, please go to heaven.
He's like, get him out of here. I've had enough of this. No more games.
Oh my goodness.
No more time to mess around.
No more halos, once again looking like Beyonce, trying to keep Shuton to the top as much as possible. We know what Rosalina can do with that up air if he gets an opponent high enough, or she gets an opponent high enough.
Solid air dodge. And look at that. These percentages have already evened themselves up. And Shuton with no room to breathe, just now finally getting a chance to pull out Pikmin. He's sitting with a lineup of 3, and we've been seeing he's been using white Pikmin a lot in this set. Whether or not he's able to consistently put out the pressure with the smash attacks, or if he's able to use purple Pikmin to occupy space in between each of these interactions. And even when he has other Pikmin lined up, white staying on Dabuz has been a fantastic way for Shuton to be able to respond to all of the damage that Dabuz has put out and keep the damage even.
Ooh, was able to slip right by Shuton's down smash, and now in another position to capitalize and potentially two-stock Shuton. But as I say that, commentator's curse strikes once again. Shuton's able to get the throw conversion into a stock.
Man, on cue like lightning. However, the jab finisher not going to be enough just there. Sitting at 125%, and Shuton's not able to make anything out of this situation. This is spelling curtains immediately, but the down smash from the opposite side of the field is going to be sending Shuton far and away, and a charged up smash seals the deal.
All right, so what? That's going to be a 2-2. Both players able to show up, keep it nice, close, and even for us as we head into this Game 5 scenario. What do you think the counter pick is going to be for Shuton?
If I had to take a guess, I could see us going back to Lilac Cruise, potentially. Nah, there we go.
Yeah,
we're good. Say no more. Now, the reason I feel like this was my first pick, and the reason why I felt this was almost obvious, was because of how Shuton's able to control this space. Look what Dabuz was able to accomplish with so much room to breathe. Now, this is Shuton's turn. This is so much space that's not available to the players. The controlled space is so much better for how Pikmin and Olimar are able to limit the options at Dabuz's disposal and keep the game more in their favor when it is in their favor.
Now we're already seeing Dabuz starting off to a pretty strong start, almost gets that full conversion to dash attack. That's only 1 or 2 hits of it, but he's been able to put this pressure on Shuton, but despite all that, Shuton's nickel and diming where he can. He's keeping the percents relatively even.
You know, one thing that I've realized throughout the entirety of this set is that the armor frames that are allotted to Olimar when he uses the order call have had almost no impact. Dabuz has been so well aware of every instance where Shuton can take advantage of that armor to slip in and take advantage. Dabuz has completely nullified one of the greatest reversal factors at Olimar's disposal. I think that's just phenomenal observational skills from this player.
Oh my goodness, I am just watching Dabuz ledge trap Shuton over and over, and it is looking merciless. Finally makes his way back to stage, able to kill Luma. That'll give him some time to breathe, but only after taking rounds and rounds of aggression and just pure aggression from Dabuz.
Well, that up smash was white Pikmin exclusive. Dabuz has had enough of this damage over time. And so is Shuton. He's looking for the direct kill now. Solid back air from center stage is going to allow Shuton to take the first stock, but he's sitting there at 141. A minor interaction could spell curtains for the stock.
Yeah, he's looking to get that back air from deep. He's going to be able to get it. No, goes for Nair instead. Going for those down tilts. We've seen him make great use of that down tilt in the situation, but the very tip of Rosalina's dress manages to catch Shuton with that down smash. So once again, we have exactly what we want: a match. Game 5, last stock. The winner gets to go into continue on in the winner's bracket, while the loser, well, you know where they're going.
They're going into the shark pool, man. This loser's bracket for this tournament has been undeniably stacked. Falling into there, it's not certain who comes out alive. So the pressure's really on for both of these players to try and make something of this final opportunity to stick it alive in the winner's side.
Okay, we see the slow but calculated gameplay coming out from both players. We're going to see Shuton can actually rely on rolling into Dabuz a lot, because if he's not capitalizing on it, it gives him that perfect spacing I was talking about earlier, where he's in between Rosalina and Luma.
An amazing chain of forward airs from Shuton have been constantly keeping Dabuz at the ledge, at bay, and without a Luma during that instance to help him out, Dabuz just had to eat all of that damage.
Okay.
And now the setup for the up airs, looking for the air dodge rate, but Shuton not falling for it this time. He's going to opt for the jump. But I feel like now he's starting to exhaust his options. Dabuz is caught onto the cycle, and with a gravitational pull, trying to read to see if there's going to be anything. I feel like that might have been his
I thought that might have been a down smash. I'm not really sure, but unfortunately he's going to miss that opportunity, and the throw is enough. Shuton is able to move on. You can see Dabuz shakes his head. He was not happy with that. Must have most certainly been a down smash. I can't not see it being that. I see it once again.
Now he even had the read on the positioning, goes for the jab, and the grab moving right in. Blue Pikmin giving it his all.
Yeah, the blue Pikmin. Always got to watch out for that when you're up against Olimar all
blue
the time.
Pikmin lifts. That's the killer when it comes to grabs and throws.